Las Vegas.
Well, why not?
There's no chairs in the back. Usually there's chairs along there.
We didn't have any yesterday or anything.
It's a little problem.
Sewage.
I'm gonna go get one and bring it in. Would it be a problem if I put a chair here?
No, not at all. I might have to slip past you on occasion, but
That's okay, because there's a big table over there, isn't there?
I'll yell at Rick.
I'll go over and get him.
Okay. Morning, Alf. Good. How are you?
I sit here.
You can sit anywhere. Right up front.
I need to make an exit.
Okay.
How are you?
Good.
Something good?
Yeah. Things have been coming off pretty well.
I was 6. I just came back from business.
I was 9.5 on Sunday.
Oh, the hat.
I think that's a great place to have it during the year. And Redcliffe especially, too.
Oh, yeah.
How was your way?
It was great. The courses I took were awesome. I'm happy with that. You didn't get my text.
I did.
Michelle's phone. Found.
What happened?
I sent. Sorry that I Facebook on that. I sent immediately. I picked up my phone and sent her a text. But they were almost stolen. When did that happen? Right? So then I sent the phone text and I said, whoever took this phone should return it to Okanagan College to Michelle. And then I just got an email from Sherry McKinsey.
I just got back today.
That's what they were saying.
We'll catch up.
So this is our 9th connection to date, and we have a great turnout, about 400 split over the course of 2 days, although I swear there's more people here this time than there was yesterday. So wonderful turnout, and it's a great testament to the work of the Connections community who've been working tirelessly all summer. So I'm not sure if there are any of them in the room today, but I just wanted to give a little thank you. Which is that Connections was a learning conference that was started by Voice for Workplace. So I was lucky enough to be on one of the first few don't normally present in a classroom show us what their gifts and skills and the things that excite them are. So that's one of the reasons I love the Connections 2 days that we have every year. And secondly, I think as we wind to a close on our 50th anniversary, we've had several instances over the last year where we've been able to celebrate just all that Okanagan College employees do for their community, not just on our campuses where we sort of live and breathe, but also in other parts of our lives. So all the volunteer work that we see happening in the community. And I think that helping others is really one of the biggest ways that I can describe our culture here at college. When I'm talking with new employees or new students, if I'm doing some mentoring with someone, I think that's one of the things that I like to highlight to them. That's really at the heart of who we are here at the college. And I see it every day on campus, whether it is people helping the parents of the little campus see people find where they're supposed to go, or seeing someone mentor someone who's taking on a new role or responsibility, or even Jim Hamilton, who so graciously offered to bring a stool to the podium here so you guys can see. Or maybe girl shoes instead. People helping people is really at the heart of what it is to be an employee of college. So you guys aren't here to listen to me though, so I'm going to now take this moment to introduce our last studio.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Let's try that again with the microphone on. Get the microphone. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Connections 2014. Technical support kicks in time as always. Thank you. It's my pleasure to welcome you to this annual event. And notice that Carrie has just demonstrated 2 cardinal rules. It's okay to kind of insult the president as long as you grovel enough at the end so that it makes up for it, establishes that balance that's so important in life. I just want to find out, first of all, because I think I know most of the people in the room, and don't worry, Cassandra, your time is coming. You'll see what that means in a moment when you see the video. I recognize most people in the room, but is there anybody here who is new to Connections this year? Before? All right, how many of those people are actually new to college in the last year or so? All right, well, the other day that 22% of our employees are actually new within the past year. So welcome. If it's your first day of the job, we'll take this So for those who are new, my job here this morning is the first and most important part, I think, is I get to introduce the much-awaited annual video. Now, I am introducing the much-awaited annual video. Please enjoy, I'm sure you will.
In September, Okanagan College celebrated its 50th anniversary, marking 5 decades of transforming lives and communities. Considering the humble beginnings of the BC Vocational School, I'm sure none of the original 9 instructors could have predicted the state of Okanagan College in 2014. As we look ahead to our centennial, we asked some of the people who contribute to our college just what we can expect the next 50 years to bring. We captured ideas about technology and sustainability, teaching and learning, values and culture, other crafts, presidential takeovers. What Okanagan College looks like in 2063 is really anybody's guess. But who better to predict the future than Mr. EdTech himself?
So I see our future as being much more analysis of skills that students already have, and then consulting to kind of figure out what pieces are missing, and having these little micro modules that each student gets a very individualized package that recognizes what they already have, that fills in the gaps, and lets them go where they want.
Creating environments where you can make wine, grow grapes, or cook, and make mistakes and learn from them is really important. So that's what the college will do. We'll have facilities that are purpose-built for that kind of working and learning, and then partnerships with industry that support that real-world experience as well.
Every day, data gets bigger and the world gets smaller. People are always connected and they require instant information. In IT, we have to respond to their expectations. Imagine a future with no more usernames, no more passwords. Imagine an education system where we can deliver face-to-face classroom experience from the comfort of your own home. In the classroom, there could be a hologram. At home, maybe we can bring the classroom to you using virtual reality. Maybe as employees, we can do meetings from here and here or here. Expectation for instant service is growing, and we're going to have to meet that demand. Are we afraid? Not really. All you need to do is phone me a few times and give me some bionic limbs.
Technology will continue to reduce barriers for learning, which is excellent for Oakland College and the communities it serves.
I'm sure there's also going to be a greater push for more courses in sustainability, in renewable energy resources. It could be solar, it could be what do you think?
Oakland College right now is a leader in sustainability. In September, we'll be launching a new program and a sustainable construction management course. And then they use this building as a learning tool. When they graduate and start building buildings like this and putting their education and knowledge into it, in 50 years we'll still be a leader in sustainable buildings. Going forward, yeah, we may see some technology change, but the core elements are going to be the same. Good instruction from people that are experienced in the field, good facilities, good equipment. If you look around the shop, some of the equipment we have in here is actually 50 years old. It's still running. The new equipment that we have looks very much like the old equipment.
We could have microchips implanted in our wrists or something like that.
IT has really stepped off the bar. Engage tickets. I told you Heather these 80 outfits would come back in style. Oh man, you're always right. 10 more reps. Oakland College and all our campuses have fantastic outdoor adult fitness equipment and stand-up desks. 10 more, Heather. Go to it.
I believe students will choose where they wish to learn, and that there will be a new educational pedagogy specifically designed for technology learning.
Even in some of our trades, we've got excellent realistic virtual environments, such as the painting in the body shop and virtual welding, and that's excellent.
I think everybody's role is going to shift. Professors to support, but I think that in order for something to work really well together, you have to have all pieces of those puzzles and all parts of that team. And I think that we'll still continue to see that team grow in its strength.
In the future, I don't think the culture of Oakland College will change, and that's not a bad thing. So I think we do a pretty good job of welcoming students and making them feel like this is a place for them. So I hope that doesn't change. I think that's been our focus for the last 50, and hopefully it continues to be for the next 50.
It's young, youthful, vibrant. I think it's a great college atmosphere. It's a small classroom. It's very personal. It's very vibrant.
But I guess it's how we interact with the students that might change. Just the way that students communicate and will want to communicate and have preferences for communication. So that might change.
I mean, there's the obvious thing that's going to happen. I don't know if you can add this in or not, but the Penticton recruiter, Jill Smith, and myself will have taken over the college by then. So, I think that within the classrooms at each campus, I do think that they will still exist. I know a lot of people think everything is going to be off campus, everything's going to be online, but I think that students still really need that collaboration and that social aspect of their college experience.
I still think we'll have a big campus, probably a bigger campus than we do now, because there's always going to be a need for the other parts of student learning than just what you get opening a book and studying and so on. You need the interaction with other students, you need the interaction with professors, and you need the stuff that happens outside the classroom.
This is going to revolutionize education.
50 years ago. And before there was YouTube. I think a lot of things that are one-way delivery are going to end up as online. You watch that, the very valuable face-to-face time when you actually have to come to a space at a college is going to be reserved for spending time with that expert, with that person with industry experience.
Right now, we have students attending Okanagan College that come here and say, I come here because I'm being taught. Because at the front of the room is an expert in the field that I'm pursuing. And that may or may not change over 50 years. But what we want to focus on is the fact that we can project what will happen, what could happen, but what will happen will be dependent upon our students.
Employees will always get older, but the students will continue to be young, although we'll see more and more people coming back to upgrade their education. That will become much more standard in the future.
50 years from now, people will still be drinking wine and still be eating food. And the second thing is that they'll be doing those things extremely well in the Okanagan region. And I see that in our future. And I think we will be a world-class destination, both for students to study those areas and for people to visit and experience our wine and food.
I think the college is in a great spot now to be reactive to the needs of industry and setting up kind of a module-based learning system where the business program becomes international and classrooms are kind of going to go to the wayside. I think it'll be professors Skyping in or Google Hangouts coming in from all over the world and collaborating on projects with students from multiple countries to really give an international perspective to the education.
Okanagan College will remain community focused, and I don't think that will change, but perhaps the community itself and the makeup of the community will change.
As I think one of the things that we'll see on campus 50 years from now is much more diversity. I think we'll see students from many different cultures and parts of the world.
In 50 years, that's 650 moons on our traditional calendar, and in those 650 moons, we'll experience a revitalization of our language and our ways of knowing and doing, where Indigenous paradigm will be incorporated into the College of Learning, and that will be merged into OC's programming here.
The whole concept of learning will change. And people have to learn to learn because information will be everywhere. Yeah, I have it here on my smartwatch. But so you don't teach people information. You have to tell people how to get information, how to find information.
50 years from today, I see Okanagan College right here as part of the community, but I see more collaboration with the community, more collaboration between colleges, and more collaboration globally.
One of the things that I see in our future is that we're going to have this extensive natural history collection, the Okanagan College Research Museum. And this is going to be a different kind of resource, a different way for the college to interact with the community. We're no longer going to only offer education and upgrading, but we're going to become a resource for broader sorts of education. Children will be coming to this natural history museum. Adults will be coming, researchers will be coming.
I would love to see students say, rather than, here's the certification that I earned, saying, this is the problem that I've solved, or this is the thing that we've built together.
The reputation of Okanagan College right now is we are a big study destination, but we hope in the future when you think Canada, you will think Okanagan College.
In 50 years from now, Okanagan College will still provide excellent customer service to our students and our partner institutions.
In 50 years, OC will continue to be an intimate learning environment. OC will continue to embrace the richness and diversity of all these cultures and ethnicities here.
I think that we're always going to have that really great energetic student body and just having all the great staff here as well, and just a happy environment. I feel like people here love what they do, and this is such a great place to work because of that.
I think putting the focus on students at Okanagan College is interwoven into the DNA of the college. They're very authentic about their passion for the students, and when I came on to work here, that was the culture. It continues to be the culture, and we will pass that on to the new people that come here. And that's my hope is that will always be part of the culture of Okanagan College.
$50 years from now.
I hope I'm golfing in 50 years. That's where I want to be. I don't want to think about work.
But I'm looking forward to the self-driving car because I'm not a particularly good driver.
Yes.
I hope to see a lot of growth within like engineering so that we can get our hoverboards finally.
Because I'm almost 40 and thinking about myself 50 years from now is really depressing.
And I just kept having this feeling that I should be doing a collection. People would come in and say
I'm about to do a little thing here, marking 5 years of 5 decades of transforming lives and communities. Okanagan College recent transforming lives and communities. When can I just read? Celebrated. They're working me hard. You're gonna have a blooper show at the end? Welcome to Connections. Well, first of all, how about another round of applause to our Public Affairs Department and all people who And today I'm actually going to use the time that they gave me yesterday and I ignored the whole time. That's fine. Here we are. Every year we do this video, we discover how many hidden talents there are in our institution. Whoever thought that Ryan Ebner would be a movie star? and you know, I'm not sure about those costumes. Lynn and Heather, you know, maybe bring about another 50 years and I'll have to look at them again. Anyway, but I did actually promise that I would recognize the contribution of Cassandra, who's looking at the floor at the moment because she's wondering what I'm going to do to try to get her back. So Cassandra was one of plotting poo along with Jill. So Cassandra wouldn't be too mean to you, except I did a little research because the name Cassandra was ringing a bell. And I looked it up. And Cassandra is a Greek mythological figure who was blessed with the gift of prophecy by the god Apollo. And then she was also cursed with the fact that no one would ever believe what she prophesied. So I personally think that, you know, Jill, and I applaud your ambition and your initiative and your willingness to take that chance on video, but I do think it's more of a fantasy. There's three main reasons that I like coming to Connections every year. And the first, as Carrie said, it's a peer-based, peer-organized activity. It's an opportunity for us to get together once a year to share learning and bright ideas in support of our mission for transforming lives and communities. Secondly, it allows me a few moments to talk with you about some of our achievements over the past year, as well as to discuss some of the opportunities and challenges that face us in the years to come. And third, Connections can be a lot of fun, as you just saw in the video. I'm all in favor of combining fun with the serious business of post-secondary education. So I want to give you an example that kind of ties into the theme of the video, as well as the overall conference. So if you're on campus, this campus a couple of Fridays ago, you might have noticed there was a small white object flying through the air. It was kind of zipping around the campus and hovering here and there. Now, I hesitate to use this today because I listen to the news, drones don't always do good things. However, this wasn't some form of extraterrestrial visitation, nor was it a new form of security surveillance. What it was a drone belonging to Lane Merrifield. Lane is a local entrepreneur, and he's one of the founders of Club Penguin, which is now known as Disney Online. So Lane, Alan Coyle, and I were on the roof of the Center for Learning building, remote controls in hand.
And this wasn't simply idle play, though I will have to admit it was play as well. But what it was play with a purpose, because we were using that drone to capture some aerial footage of our buildings. We wanted to record the progress on the trades building project, and we also wanted to view our place from an unusual vantage point. And yes, it also was fun, especially when Lane made the mistake of handing the remote control over to me. Well, I would probably have to point out was too scared to try it. Well, he says actually didn't want to show me up. But I think he was afraid to crash Lane's toy. Now, this little bit of fun not only netted us some pretty cool footage, but at no cost, also, I should point that out, thanks to Lane, but it also connects with some of the reasons I think that lie behind our success as an institution and that augur well for our future. Because like so many people in this community, Lane's connected to us. He is an honorary fellow. His children have been coming to camp here this summer and having a great time. I hope he's not one of the people who take up my parking spot in the morning. Anyway, small problem for CS to figure out next year. He's also an employer, our graduates. And he is the leader of the group behind a recent innovation in Kelowna. It's called the Okanagan Innovation Center. Some of you have heard a bit about this in the news. Andrew Hay and Alan Coyle and I are heavily involved in this project. So just a couple of things about that. The Okanagan Innovation Center is an innovative approach to a landing pad and launching pad for high-tech startup companies. So it's a 6-story building where established companies can rent space, where emerging companies can start and launch their businesses, and where Okanagan College, and for that one, maybe still, and others, that was a joke, you guys. Tough crowd this morning. Carrie was saying a tough crowd. Oh, listen up a bit. Okay. We're going to provide training as well as business and research support to building tenants and to the wider tech and business community. Okanagan College's role is still under development and discussion, so I'm not going to talk about that this morning, but we will be a big part of this center. So back to my Lane connection here. So Lane actually gets the college's role in the past, the present, and the future of this region. He wants to be our partner. You never know where relationships like this may take you. It may be something as small as free aerial footage, or maybe something as big as the opportunity to play a key role in a major regional economic development initiative. So before I talk more about the future, I want to focus on some of the significant events of the past year. So let's take a look at 2013-14, some of the highlights, another successful year in history of Okanagan College. History played a big role this year because we did mark our 50th anniversary this past year. The official celebration was a great success, great event, and gave us a chance to share our wonderful story with alumni, with members of the public, with students, and employees past and present. And the highlight of the year for me was the Golden Day of Service, where several hundred students and staff volunteered for a host of worthy causes. Now, personally, I enjoyed, that's a too strong word, personally I enjoyed working in the Vernon Food Bank for part of the day, and then helping to rip out toilet stalls in the Oyama Community Center. What I did not enjoy, however, was inhaling something that flew off one of the toilet stalls into my mouth and I swallowed it. That's kind of how I felt about it too. Graham assured me I was not going to die. I think he gets first aid anyway. I didn't die. I lived through it. I got to enjoy the rest of that very special day. Now, see, there's something for everybody here today. Don't stop too. Okay. A few years ago, when we were in the middle of transforming from Okanagan University College into Okanagan College, one of our then vice presidents asked a really good question. And he asked this question, I think, is one that we need to ask ourselves regularly. How are we doing? We get really busy, don't we, all of us? And once in a while you want to stop and say, how's that actually going? For students, for the community, for us. So you can measure performance by numbers, and here are some that tell a good tale of how we are doing or how we did in 2013-14. Enrollments are always important to all of us, including especially perhaps the Ministry of Advanced Education and the provincial government, who do give us a significant amount of cash every year. So Good news story once again for us is that once again although enrollments declined a little bit, we did exceed provincial targets once again. We have the best record amongst all the colleges in the province in terms of enrollment performance. In fact, we've seen a 40% increase since 2005-06. That's the best record in the sector. In fact, if you look at the sector as a whole, it actually declined by 4% over the same time period. I'm pretty proud of that, and you should be as well. We're now the second largest trades training institution in British Columbia and the biggest in the college sector. Not only that, but government knows they can count on us to deliver when it comes to trades training and other forms of education as well. I'm really proud of our record on Aboriginal initiatives. I'm proud of how far we've come. We now have over 1,400 self-declared Aboriginal students at Okanagan College. That's the fastest growth rate of any major post-secondary institution in this province. In fact, we have more Aboriginal students at Okanagan College than UBC Vancouver and UBC Okanagan have combined. So I think that's fantastic progress on our plan. I really like it when they drill down to the students themselves. This year we had 8 winners of the Ike Barber Aboriginal Scholarship. This is Penny O'Leary. Penny's from Factor Nursing, and she's one of those students, and she appears to be more than a little happy with her achievement, and well, she should be. So we're making great progress on that front. But I like the comments that Anthony made in the video about what the future holds for us, because I do think we have a lot to learn and a lot of opportunity to grow our relationship with our First Nations community. Not just getting the students here, but learning from the culture, from history as well. One of the things that we like to do is to rate ourselves, our performance against others. So a few years ago, we decided we would stack our performance on the whole sustainability front, not just the environmental aspects of it, but everything. And so we adopted the sustainability tracking, assessment, and rating system. And we did it the first time 3 years ago, and we just did it again this year, and just got the results back. Once again, we have a silver rating. We're closing in on gold. We jumped up our performance. And just in case you're wondering, there's only one institution in Canada that's ever just achieved gold. That's the one that's the first to go on, UBC Vancouver. We're one of the few colleges and universities in Canada that uses stars. And they do it because it allows us to measure our sustainability performance against the very best in the world. It also opens up to us a whole host of information that we wouldn't otherwise have. Okay, budget. You thought I was going to get through talking about budget. Oh, you're disappointed. Well, probably not disappointed. It was a bit of a tough year for us in the budget. Up front, we started with a shortfall that was measured in the millions. And that included a $120,000 cut in our operating grant from the province. It was a challenge. And I want to thank everybody who helped us handle that challenge without significantly reducing programs and services. We had to do a bit, but nothing compared to what some of our peer institutions do. So we should all feel pretty good about that outcome. We also published an economic development study provincially through BC Colleges Group, and that tells us that we have a significant impact both regionally and provincially in terms of what we contribute overall to the economy. Not just the $95 million budget, but the way that spend on post-secondary actually has an impact as it moves through the economy. So important information, really relevant when we're talking to potential donors, to chambers of commerce, to municipal governments, and so on. I want to talk about fundraising for a moment because this is an area where I take a great deal of pride in our accomplishments. Our foundation had another great year. I know we actually have a couple of directors from the foundation snuck into this. Well, Linda, you're okay because Linda Wilson, she's a director of the foundation. Some of you remember she was a regional dean. Lenora, yeah, that's why I don't know. But we also have another member of our Rhett King, who's another member of our board. So thanks, you're welcome to be here and share in this company. Because the foundation has done a great job for us. Our Penticton campaign is now up to $9.2 million, not a bad achievement against the goal of $5 million, and the best in BC ever, and one of the top 10 in the country. So, that with the Kathy and the staff, congratulations to all of you on that. We're now moving on to the Bright Horizons campaign. The Bright Horizons campaign team is representing all trade sectors. It's not entirely, but it is primarily focused on the trade building here. We have a $5 million obligation on that. It is a $7 million campaign goal overall. Mike Roberts, Dennis Gablehouse, and Ben Stewart, names you may recognize, are people who are doing a great job for us as campaign ambassador, campaign chair, and honorary campaign chair. Scholarships, bursaries, and awards are a big part of what the foundation supports. And this information tells you that we have given nearly $1 million between the foundation and the college to our students to help them finance their education. I think that's fabulous. Now, numbers are good, but there are people behind the numbers, people for whom this support is very important and who can make the difference between, or for which the support can make the difference between success and failure. People like Gabriella Carr, who you see on the screen in front of you. Now you get a chance to meet Gabriella and a lot of people like her if you attend any of our annual awards ceremonies. It's a very gratifying opportunities where you can see how a donation can make an impact on a student. All of us have a chance to support the work of the foundation if we choose to do so. And you may have noticed our foundation was at a table outside in the breezeway today. They're helping to launch the family portion of our fundraising activities. And Kathy Butler wanted to make a big fundraising pitch to you here, but I thought it was kind of inappropriate, so Kathy would be disappointed. But I do want to take this opportunity to say that these are personal decisions as to how you support the college. And it's a decision that my wife Liz and I made, and we have gained great satisfaction from that decision, as have other colleagues. So let me simply ask you this, that you give some thought to the value of college and the needs of the students, and if you find yourself in a position where you are both able and willing to make a contribution, you'll find it very rewarding, and besides, prop time. They give you some really cool sunglasses. I'm taking them off so I can see my notes again, and besides, I look totally ridiculous in them. So, but you will look fine if you choose to do that. For more information on that, simply see Kathy and her crew. Number of capital projects got underway or continued to progress last year. Here in Kelowna, of course, the Trades Training Building had its official sod turning for the new park. This is a $33 million project, renovation and expansion. Allows us to bring 750 students back from Penno and Ackland Road, so they get to come home and be part of the family here at the campus. I think that's good. Now, we were originally supposed to end this project, the complete project, in March 2016. Kathleen Welsman, our Director of Facilities, told me that I'm allowed to tell you that it will actually happen as early as December 2015. So that's pretty good. So in Penticton, the Wine Information Society donated $300,000 towards our new state-of-the-art wine and food sensory classroom lab, which you saw in the video. The official opening will be sometime later this fall, but we've already started programming. Danielle's done a fabulous job through the video. Hi, Danielle. And thanks for the good work you're doing there. I actually took one of the courses for a weekend, and I highly recommend it. Not just because you get to have wine and food, but you get to learn a lot about the Okanagan as well. Check out the progress on, if you're by Vernon, check out the progress on Vernon's 2-acre garden. This is a project we've talked about before. It's for social entrepreneurship. It's organic gardening through community engagement. It's a farming partnership on behalf of 3 local community organizations. And new this year, we have 2 intakes of horticulture and landscape programming for our adult special ed students. This is really, I think, another good student story. The whole of that first class is now employed in downtown Vernon, taking care of landscaping. Isn't that cool? Also new this year is Earth Strong Harvest. 2 young people trying their hand at becoming agriculturalists. And if you feel like supporting them, I found after I talked yesterday that our culinary arts program is signed on to buying up a lot of the produce, but there's still more apparently. So if you happen to be around Vernon, you've got contact information on the website think about that. There's a notable development in Salmon Arm this year. And we signed a memorandum of understanding with a potential donor of 20 acres of land, which we hope to use for an additional or alternate site for that campus, and to allow that campus to move closer toward realizing its dream of providing even better support to the regional economic development in that community. A lot of work to do in that still, but that's a very important opportunity for us and a great thing that happened this past year. We launched a bunch of new programs this year in spite of our tough economic times. The first was our Wine, Food, and Tourism Institute launched a new pastry program, a free online wine server course, and 15 courses in wine and food. I mentioned I've taken one of those already myself. Our bridges to UBC Okanagan for civil and mechanical engineering have been finalized, so it provides opportunities for students to move from our technology programs, if they wish, into becoming engineers through UBC. And in trades, where we've been seeing significant developments over the past few years, once again, a couple of new developments there in heavy mechanical trades and refrigeration and air conditioning mechanics as well. Behind all these achievements, and there are many more I could have talked about, behind all these achievements are two very important groups of people. First of all, the students, who are the reason that we're all here doing what we do. And we like to ask our students every once in a while what they think of us, how they think we're doing. So we've collated the results from our most recent student survey, and here are just a few. You'll be able to see the entire results of the survey online. We'll publish it all publicly for you. But I just wanted to highlight a few for our purposes here. I'm not going to read them to you, but I just want to say this. If I got marks like 90% in any one of your courses, I'd probably feel pretty good about my performance, and I think you should feel good if the students think that highly of their education here. They're very positive overall, but there are always a couple of things that bother students. Okay, I don't audience participation being too relaxed. What do you think would be the students' biggest complaint on most campuses? Ah, you were here yesterday? No, you talked to somebody. Okay,
I did the stats.
Oh, well. Well, you're right. The big surprise this year, thanks for stealing my thunder there, was wireless access. And you remember Jim Gamble in the video said something about we need the students will tell us where we're going. Well, they're telling us on this front. You know, our IT folks are working overtime trying to fix this problem, but they're not happy with the wireless service because they live on those things. As increasingly do we. So we've got some work to do there. The second group that's really critical that lies behind all those achievements is that people who are in this room and all of our colleagues throughout the institution. We are collectively the people who make it all happen. And without you, we could never have achieved so much this or any other year. And it's affirming to hear so many people in that video talk about service to students, however they chose to phrase it, service to students, service to the community as being at the center of our culture and the thing that motivates them most. I think Jim Gamble captured it really well when he spoke of our student-centered culture as being part of the DNA of the college. That was a good way to put it. I agree, and I share both James Bogle and Cassandra's and many other people's hope that that part of Okanagan College never changes. Now, we do have a chance to formally recognize our employee contribution and dedication twice a year. And we did that again this year when we had our employee long service event, one of my favorite events of the year. This year, 116 employees with a total of 1,585 years of service between them. We're honored because they've reached milestones in their careers here. And I always really enjoy the employee excellence event where peers get to recognize peers with outstanding contributions to this. I have nothing to do with this except for one of them, I guess. This is people who work here, nominating and deciding who they want to give a special award to in any given year. That's what makes it happen. I really like the authenticity of it. So I want to shift as I approach the end I want to just shift for a couple moments to some of the challenges we face. First, not surprisingly, we have a financial problem that we're going to have to deal with. The normal pressures that we face in any given budget year will be made worse by additional anticipated cuts to our operating grants. We have to deal with 500,000, roughly 500,000 this year, and it'll be a little bit more than that on the subsequent year. This is part of the provincial government's planned reduction in operating grants to post-secondary institutions. Enrollments. We know that our high school demographics are changing. We've seen a 7% decline in the graduating class since 2009. No relief in sight immediately for that, though will eventually come. But we don't rely only on that group of students. They're important to us, but they're not our sole source of students. So we're going to address this issue. We are addressing this issue through new and expanded markets, such as the Aboriginal market we talked about earlier, other underrepresented groups in our society, increased participation rates. BC, we lag behind BC's post-secondary participation rate here in the Okanagan and Shuswap. We've got some work to do there. We'll work on that too. We're going to attract more students in other parts of Canada. They're coming now in greater numbers. That's another opportunity for us, as is the international market. I want to actually congratulate our folks international who looks like we're off to a great year this year. So good. Keep up that good work. We need those students. We want those students as part of our culture. Contract training, new programming, new delivery modes, and more strategic partnerships are also part of the picture, part of the answer. So let's talk about the financial challenge. So there may be a bit of a disengagement here between, on one hand, our operating grants that are being reduced. On the other hand, the government's well aware of the skills gap produced in the BC Blueprint recently, and it started to invest some money on specific, specific vocations, professions that need to be addressed as we approach that point in our history where that skills gap that figured so prominently in 2008 is back upon us. Locally, we know, thanks to a study we did with the Economic Development Commission in Central Okanagan, that we will need 75,000 new employees in our region, the region we serve, by 2020. That's a guess, but it's probably a good guess. The majority of those people need post-secondary education. The buying capacity of Okanagan College and UBC Okanagan cannot address that issue by themselves. So we've got a problem there. Every year the board asks me this question: what keeps you awake at night? I'm told that's a pretty good representation of what I look like in the morning, so I don't think I have that much hair. What keeps me awake at night? It's quite simple. How do we keep moving ahead? How do we maintain our momentum in times of constraint? Because that's what we face. So 2014-15 is going to bring its share of new developments. The video address is the Sustainable Construction Management Technology Program, which is launching in Picton this fall. I mentioned some of the developments in wine, food, and tourism. More coming on that front. If you go by Vernon, you'll see the track is well underway, and that's a community. The community is paying for that facility, and we'll use it, and we'll get access to it as well. It's going to be a great asset to our campus. And there I mentioned already what we're doing in Salmon Arm around the property, but behind that, it will develop a whole education plan that needs to drive the need for the land in order to move that vision forward. The trades building we talked about, and the Okanagan Innovation Center, we also talked about. 2014-15 is also going to be important for us because we're going to launch the process leading to our next strategic plan. Everybody goes, oh, yeah, great strategic plan, that's exciting. But it's important to us, and this is why. The strategic plan challenges us to focus on what's going to happen in the next 5 to 10 years. The video looked at a 50-year time frame. We need to do that too. But we really need to focus on where we're going to put our resources and our efforts in the next 5 to 10 years. Things are changing for us. Where are the opportunities? Where are the challenges? So we're going to review our mission, vision, values, and key directions in the context of that rapidly changing environment. We're going to address the issues I've talked about here today, the ideas that participants mentioned in the video. I'm not sure exactly about the hoverboards, but that might be part of it. And we're going to address the concerns and the opportunities you're going to be discussing both here today in the various workshops and over the course of the process we'll put into place for the plan. So I can't outline for you today, and you'll be thankful to know that in 1 second. Can't outline the details of what that looks like yet because I have to deal with the board and figure it all out. But this fall we will have that done. But I will promise you this, just as in 2005, 4,000 people engaged in our strategic planning process from Revelstoke to the border, from the general community to our internal community. Just as in 2005, this is going to be a highly consultative process. And you will have an opportunity to engage in thorough research, in deep discussion, in creative thinking, and ultimately a plan to harness all of our talents and energies to extend our college's story of service and success. And if we do a good job, and I have every confidence we will because it's us and we're going to be doing it, we always do a good job, then much will change. But I believe that what's not going to change are the core values that inspire our culture and keep us focused on our core mission. I want to end today by simply saying thank you to you, both for listening to me today for more than 25 minutes, but also, more importantly, I want to thank you for your continuing service to our great cause of transforming lives and communities. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much, Jim. I've just got a couple of quick announcements before you head off to your session today. So you brought donations for the food bank. They're in the breezeway. There's a place where you can drop them off. There's lots and lots of activities today for you guys to participate in, not just the sessions that you've been signed up for, but also some activities happening over lunch. And please don't forget that there's a social at the end, which I highly enjoyed yesterday. Hope to highly enjoy again today. So inside your little name tags are a couple of things you should be aware of. One is a lunch ticket. See at the back. You'll need that. We have different ways to get your lunch this year. So there's a food truck that will be outside the cafeteria, as well as you can pop in veggies. We'll have some salads and things there that you can choose from. They were very yummy yesterday. You'll also notice that there are 2 tickets inside. Those are for sample beverages at the social. So that was also enjoyed, I'm sure. Your first session starts at 10:30, and along with the sessions that you're doing today, the ILTs put together a little learning passport for you. So you can fill out that learning passport or use it throughout the day to kind of help you to remember some of the things that you're taking away from this learning opportunity that we have for you. I think that's all the announcements that I have. So enjoy your first session and have a great day.